Hi everyone, good morning. How are you? Hi Rachelle, good to see you.
Hi, Miriam. I'm glad to see that you're back up on your feet.
Thank God.
We got into a very interesting discussion today. I'm in the stage of life. Here I am. I'm single. I'm in my upper years. And I'm reevaluating my values. And one of the values I am reevaluating is how I feel about like sex out of marriage, sex on the fly. Is this something that, like, why do I have an inner resistance to being involved in that type of thing? I do miss intimacy in my life. I do miss having a partner to, share the different challenges that life present. But I'm in a different society than when I was growing up. It's like now anything goes and there's no judgment and it's okay and there's medications to protect you from it or whatever.
90%.
Not- but
You can
I
still get yourself in big trouble.
I really I don't seem to be able to figure out like what course I should take. And I have friends and that are living lives in different ways, and it seems to be good for them. But like, what about me? I'm not sure what I should do with all my preconceived notions. Like, where do they stem from? Can I change them? Should I change them? What do you think?
So I feel that we're coming to a deeper level of wisdom from both talking to people and listening to the world's wisdom about it, whether it's, psychologists, sexologists, um, brain experts. I feel like we're coming to a deeper wisdom of why we want to keep the halachot around sexual purity and sex before marriage, and um, like I'm coming from the other direction. Yeah, it's like if in my younger years I wasn't sure about it, I'm coming to a deeper and deeper realization of why we should be serious about it. Um,
But you're still married. You're married. You're in a
Yeah, true,
marriage.
true. But also I think that this video is good for also for married people, because the promiscuity today in married life, even around religious people, is enormous.
You mean outside of going
To
outside of
going
marriage?
outside of marriage,
Ah,
yeah.
okay,
So this
okay.
video is definitely good for
Relevant.
everybody, relevant for everybody,
Okay,
married or unmarried.
okay. What is it
So
that happens between a man and a woman? Like, what you're gonna go into that too?
so basically, when we meet a person, right? There's some kind of a chemistry click between us. Actually, we learned that it comes very much from the smell. We're
Hmm.
attracted, first of all, by smell, not only by looks, but by smell. And it's actually very interesting to notice that ruach, which is air, but ruach is also reach. Reach is fragrance, smell. And ruach is also spirit.
Mm,
So we're spiritually attracted, emotionally attracted by
right,
the fragrance,
right.
and it's probably dragging us into the relationship even more than the visual, because it's like you subconsciously take the person under your skin.
So that's happening and you don't even know it.
It's happening and you don't even notice it exactly.
So you're forming bonds almost
Right,
immediately.
right.
Okay.
So then once like if you haven't touched, like you allowed yourself to get to know the person,
Mm-hmm.
or I'll even go before that in the Haredi world. What happens in the religious world in general, right? Before you go on a match, before you go on a date,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
parents actually go and check, who's the person, what age they are, what background they come from, are they on the same financial level that will settle you, et cetera, et cetera. All those details that you don't want to figure out once you're deep in love to say, oh, like I'm really emotionally so invested, and but it's not right for me. I know that I'll regret this later.
Okay.
So that's what happens in the more
Religious world.
religious world
Okay.
up until today.
Right.
But then what happens to us,
Mm.
to whoever, um, in whatever, in the outside world, right? In the outside world, what happens is that you go and you meet a person, and nobody did a checkup,
No.
on
No.
them for you.
No.
You just see them,
Right.
you smell them, you subconsciously are attracted and bonded with them.
Yep.
And then what happens is that instead of taking the time to get to know them, you jump into the physical
Physical.
world
Physical
with them,
intimacy.
with the physical intimacy with them.
Right.
And then once you've jumped into the physical intimacy, if you've only hugged, it's a certain level. And if you've
Kiss.
kissed, it's a different level because already your chemicals kind of transmitted to each other.
Mm.
And you already became a little bit one, not
Yes.
completely, but a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But once you've actually slept with them, once you've had full intercourse with them,
Mm-hmm.
you are completely chemically bonded to each other. You're a little bit completely one,
So does that mean?
basically. And it's like tearing one entity into two. Now go and leave that person,
And
part with them after you're so not only emotionally invested, but physically so bonded to each other.
yeah, I don't think that people think about that though. They think
No,
that they can leave that behind
right,
somehow.
right.
Why?
Because I think that we're much more aware of our body needs than we are of our soul needs. We're we're much more considerate of our body needs than of our soul needs. We don't think how our heart is going to be torn apart later. We think that if we fill our bodily needs, our heart is going to be satisfied and fulfilled also. Maybe it will be for a moment, but then later, according to the level of the positive experience we had and the basically um, reinforcement of dopamine that we had from the pleasure that we had with that person,
Right.
it will be very hard for us to say goodbye to that. It's going to be like basically like they say, once you've had Hungarian wine, you don't want to taste any other wine.
So is it like sugar? It's like
It's
having
like
a.
any addiction.
That's why we keep having. But you see, in the case of like sugar, say, right? I can eat a donut, get temporary satisfaction. I don't necessarily have to go and have another donut to fulfill my sugar addiction. I could go to, have an ice cream, right? I don't have to have the same.
Maybe you don't, but somebody else, it will be hard for them to do that. Now follow your body and mental connection when we're talking about a donut. What happens?
Yeah.
Why do you want the donut? What do you say to yourself? What's your inner talk when you want a donut?
Well, it looks really good. And look how beautiful it is, and I really shouldn't have it, but I don't have them that often.
No, that's your what's your positive talk?
My positive talk. Oh, that's gonna taste really good.
Right,
That's gonna taste really good in the
right.
moment.
And what's your negative talk?
Uh, well,
My stomach
it
will
can
hurt.
hurt.
My blood pressure will my sugar levels will rise.
Yeah, yeah,
Right. I will not stay as healthy.
right.
Right.
I may not be able to have my dinner,
I'm going
or
to get more and more addicted to it.
no, I don't go that far.
Okay, you're not. Okay, all right. But you have all this positive. What I want you to notice is that you have your positive versus your negative inner talk.
Right.
Right. Now, what happens when you meet a person? You're like, they're really handsome and I really want to be with them. Right. What's going to be your positive talk? They're handsome. I really want to be with them. What's going to be your negative talk? Right. So if you're married, you're going to be like, maybe I'm married and whatever. And if you're unmarried, you're going to be like, well, they're still a person, regardless the fact that either way you're going to say, right, they're still a person. And I want to get to know them, because it's not only what they, it's not only, I'm not going to bond with them only on a superficial level. I want to bond physically only with a person that I want to bond with emotionally. So I better get to know them first. But you have to be aware of that inner talk. I might get hurt if I get bonded physically and emotionally.
How does how does self-esteem fit in there? Like, you know what I'm asking? Like, sometimes it helps to build your feeling of self-esteem and sense of worth. So yeah, you get yourself somebody, an attractive
And
guy.
sometimes the other way around. You even go to bed with somebody who's not complimentary to your self-esteem.
Right.
Right, it could go both ways. It could be like, this is really complimentary to my self-esteem, that this kind of person would want me.
Yeah.
Both, whatever, for men and women, whoever is
Mm-hmm.
watching, right? And it could be the other way around. It could be like, this is how I evaluate myself, that this person. But if somebody will look from outside, they will be like, what, really? You can do so much better even on that level, right?
Yes, but I just wanted to put that in there because a lot of times we do things from a place of where our self-esteem is affected, and we may not even realize it.
And sometimes it goes the other way also. Another way to look at it
Yeah.
is that we judge somebody when it's good material, when it's marriage material.
Mm.
We overjudge someone,
Right.
right? And we overlook them with our positive self-esteem,
Right.
right? And we
Mm.
don't get to marry someone who could be really good for us because we're overjudging them also. So it goes in all the directions, the
Ooh.
self-esteem.
Okay. Goes in. Yeah, but it is in there also. It's not just filling in a loneliness or inside. It's also a self-esteem issue, and
Sure.
it's and like if you're being rejected, sometimes you may go farther than you would want to try to build your self-esteem by having somebody else's attention.
Yeah, you know what? Another good metaphor could be to,
Yeah.
I'm hungry. I could go and make myself a meal, or I
Mm.
can walk an extra couple of steps and get myself something healthy,
Yeah.
or I'll get a donut, or I'll get a cookie in my kitchen, whatever, instead of, right?
Yeah.
It's like I'm feeling this hunger,
Right.
but it's not really going to fill me. Or like, like sugar over, healthy carbohydrates, or like, empty carbohydrates versus healthy carbohydrates, right?
Right.
Like, you're feeling a need, but
Right.
you're not feeling the deep need. You're feeling a very superficial need. And then what am I going to pay for that? I'm going to pay for that a very big heartache later.
See, that is really my feeling about it. It's like I don't want to be looking to get involved in a situation that's not really going to serve what's fundamentally the
Right,
issue.
right, right,
So I try to work on figuring out what all my issues are, but that I'm alone.
right. But then there's like that level that you really would want to fill that superficial need. And then you could, look at people and feel like, oh, I wish I could be as free as they are, free spirited, like as
Yeah.
they are. But it's not exactly, the, the, the main question in life, always, 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 no matter what it is what inner talk should I wake up in myself? Am I having the right inner talk? Always have to have I have to have an ongoing conversation with myself. Am I having the right inner talk with myself right now?
And how do you? What is the criteria of that? Like, what should that look like?
Everlasting, or long lasting, at least we can't know about
Yeah.
ever. But long lasting, just like that the healthy meal will fill you up for a few good hours, and you won't be snacking on all these cookies,
Right.
right?
Yes.
So it's same thing with emotional stuff and love stuff and you know
Right. Do you want temporary satisfaction, or wouldn't you? But yeah,
or
it's
do you want to create a real relationship?
if you. Yeah, it's also hard to find. You know, it's very hard to find
But you're getting yourself further away.
by.
Now there's also medium relationships. You can, even if a relationship is not completely, you see right away from the beginning that
Yeah.
it's not exactly it. But you can take it to, I'm not saying it's, maybe it's unhealthy. You're still going to get the heartache probably,
Yeah.
but at least you learn something from it. Like how far are you going to throw yourself
Mm-hmm.
into a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and to what extent are you ready to submit yourself to pain, right?
Or
With
trust.
To breaking your heart,
Yes. Yeah.
right? It's like there's some things you'll do and some things you won't do. And some things that you shouldn't be doing, and it's really hard for you to awaken that inner talk that will stop you from doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to, have go into that inner talk. That's why meditation and prayer are so important, to awaken the right inner talk within us all the time. Am I doing this for my soul, or am I doing this just for my body?
I'll tell you, with my second husband, I had to let go of my fears and trust issues in order to allow this person into my life. But it was like I made it. I looked at the situation. I looked at his values and whatever, and I decided that, I asked Hashem, and I decided that, you know, he had the stuff that could form a serious relationship with, and I allowed him in. But now these are all strangers. These people are all strangers. I have no way to tell what the values are of the person that I'm with.
Until you talk to them,
That's right.
right?
Until I talk to them. And it's like, what stage of life am I at? Am I going to have a family? Do I want to have a family? I'm not going to have a family at this stage of my life. So, what?
What is the ruach that we discussed in the beginning, the spirit? How does God say that He defined human beings from animals? And you can also look at it from the godly soul. How are we defined? Where is the definition of the godly soul versus the animal soul? It's called ruach memalala. Ruach is connected to the word words.
Mila.
Milah, memalala.
Oh.
That the spirit of the speech brings out the spirit. How do I know who you are? I know who you are by actually two things.
Mm-hmm.
Both also smell, because nowadays we know biologically
Mm-hmm.
that our smell is connected to our inner health, to
Okay.
our health,
Yes, definitely.
negative health, right? You can brush your teeth, but if you have
Have rotten
something,
teeth,
a tooth,
it's not
right?
going to cover
Or
it.
if you didn't eat, or if you didn't eat in the morning, you have
Yes.
over sugar, right? It's
Yeah.
not going to help you to brush your teeth 10 times.
Right. Very true.
So it's like, so our smell is connected to our health.
Right.
And also, it's connected to our words. The kind of words that I will say reflect who I am inside.
So you have to
So,
take the time to talk.
so you have to take the time to talk, right?
And how long does it take before you're talking from your heart and not just off the top of your head or trying to make an impression on somebody?
I think it actually comes the other way around. You
Mm,
either hit it off right away and you talk from the heart,
okay.
and if you don't talk from the heart, usually it won't come later.
Doesn't evolve.
What happens the other way around, I see much,
Yeah.
is that in the beginning people spoke from the heart, then later they drift away and they start, pass me the salt, or should we go to a movie tonight, or should we,
That's true.
right? Or should we sit bored in front of the television tonight,
That's
right?
true.
So usually people who click,
Mm-hmm.
right away talk from the heart.
And I'll tell you, Miriam, it's rare. It is rare.
The click comes from talking from the heart.
Yeah.
If you haven't spoken from the heart forever, you'll be walking around saying, is it right for me? Are they right for me? Are they not right for me? But once you've spoken from the heart, even if they'll be abusive, I'll have to convince you forever, God forbid, to leave them because the heart was on fire.
It's like fundamental honesty, honesty that comes from a place where there's no games. There's no games.
Right?
It's just how we really profoundly feel.
Yeah.
Definitely. This is very informative. Just finding out what the dynamic is when you meet somebody and what's going on and being aware of what's going on. Uh, Definitely.
Right. Well, I hope it was good for you. I hope it was helpful. And I pray and bless all of you to find the right connections and
And be happy.
to really fall in love, to believe in love,
Mm,
to really click from the heart,
no,
and to be
amen.
able to talk to each other from the heart.
Amen.
Have a wonderful day.
And press the subscribe button.
Right. And send it to whoever you think might benefit from this.
Amen.
And thumb up. Looking for your thumb ups. Have a great day.